So today's advanced tip from Bassai Dai and Bassai Sho is the section where you are doing the tatshuto going into the next section. So in Bassai Dai, you would be here, you would come up into like an intermediate shizentai horse stance somewhere in the middle there. You're going into tatshuto and then you're going into punch, inside block, punch, inside block. Okay? So the idea I want to emphasize is how you're actually generating power in the technique. I know there's lots of different ideas out there. I want to suggest that we're going to try to use our legs as much as we can, and even though we're rotating a lot, we're not relying solely on the rotation. We're actually trying to rely on our connection to the floor. So even though we're standing up and our legs are mostly straight, we still want to feel like we have a good connection to the floor through our feet. So when you're here, you come up into this position, we're pushing outward, you can almost feel like your feet are gripping into the floor or like you're dropping your weight without physically doing it. From there, you're trying to drive through, in this case, your right leg into that first punch. So obviously not a lot of rotation there, but we're trying to push through that leg through like an isometric contraction, and then we're going to go into the rotation of the next technique where we would really feel that we're driving through that back leg. So then same thing here, now there is a big rotation into the next punch. We're going to drive through this leg into that technique as we kind of stand up. And then the next one is going to be a smaller rotation, but still connecting that foot to the ground and trying to drive into the block. So the next one is going to be just the stationary one from Bassai Sho. So we would be, let's see here, we'd be here and then landing down into horse stance. So now we have an even smaller set of rotations here before we go into the manjuke. So you're going to be down in horse stance. You're going to try to maintain this position, and you're really not going to get a lot of movement out of your hips, but once again, we're trying to connect our feet to the floor. So when you're here, you're trying to push through this back leg to drive the first punch, and push through the, I say back leg, but this leg. Try to push through the other leg to drive the punch. I know my shoulders are rotating, but the idea is not necessarily a huge rotation. It's only a small rotation within what your stance can handle without giving, and then adding in that pushing technique. So if you have a handle on like how your muscles contract, maybe feel one that you're maybe pushing your heel into the floor in this case, but then another idea is that you feel like you're using your glutes, so you would actually be contracting your right glute for the first technique, your left glute for the next, and then you might also feel a little bit in the quads. The idea could also apply to Bassai Dai. If we're doing this one, you may be turning on the balls of your feet for this, so it's not going to feel as much like your heels are connecting to the floor, but that same feeling through your glutes is kind of what you're looking for as you make those rotations, because it's going to help with the pushing and the rotating. So that's kind of the idea I want you to think on. Try it stationary, looking in front of a mirror. Try those small movements, but try to feel like your backside is what's doing the majority of the work for you.